Hello and welcome to some more This Week in Star Citizen. Looking at what's coming over the next few days in this wonderful space game, there's a focus on Alpha 3.23, distribution centers, and player interaction this week. But we're also going to be talking about CIG's Idris combat and boarding playtest they did, and expectations of personal hangars in 3.23. Let's start with CIG's This Week in Star Citizen post. The Red Festival is well underway, with tidbits galore to ring in the coming year of the dog in 2954. Greet the new year decked out in new auspicious ship liveries, earn a limited time Red Festival challenge coin by dominating in the special new mode in Arena Commander, or engage in the time-old tradition of finding and turning in red envelopes for fun and profit. Plus, visitors of Stanton during the Red Festival will receive a commemorative 2954 Year of the Dog envelope to display in their hangars for years to come. Take advantage of the currently ongoing Free Fly event as well, and invite your friends to join you in celebrating the end of the lunisolar year. Our Red Festival referral bonus runs through February 26th, and you and the friends you recruit can usher in the new year with a Drake Dragonfly along with a special edition Red Festival armor and weapon package. Love is in the air also, and we hope your Quartermore weekend was spent with your co-pilot of choice or favourite partner in crime, painting the verse pink and black. If you took off for a rendezvous or two in-game, don't forget to send your best screenshots to the 2954 First Date in the Verse screenshot contest by the 15th for a chance to win some lovely prizes. Head over to the Quartermore landing page for more details on the contest and more. Lastly, if you are in Paris, France, or Brussels, Belgium, or Boise, Idaho, I think that's how you pronounce that, in the United States this weekend, you can look forward to hanging out with other enthusiasts and talking about all things Star Citizen over your favourite ice-cold beverage at Bar Citizen events. Visit barcitizen.se for details on upcoming events near you. Zin and I are going to be at the Manchester Brewdog Bar Citizen on the 2nd of March. Hopefully see some of you there. Now, what's going on this week? Later Tuesday, the narrative team will make Whitley's Guide on the Anvil Valkyrie available, first appearing in a jump point issue. In an effort to predict the future of warfare, Anvil spent years compiling data and fed it into a supercomputer. The results inspired Anvil to develop the Valkyrie. On Wednesday, they're going to be reposting the Squadron 42 monthly report as a sort of comlink, so it's just a repost of the newsletter. Thursday, there's an episode of Inside Star Citizen, and it's going to be the final look at distribution centers before their intended arrival in Star Citizen Alpha 3.23 in April. These structures are relatively big, there's lots of landing zones on them, there's lots of mission content, lots of other things you can get involved with there. It's sort of a miniature microcosm of a major landing zone with their own theme and archetypes and faction there. Eventually they're going to be part of these huge underground networks as well, and this is sort of like the top part of that, the building on top that they are making for Alpha 3.23, and it's not going to be all of the content of distribution centers, they've got loads planned in the future. Friday, Star Citizen Live is returning with a Q&A show where they're going to be talking about EVA, the player interaction experience, default item actions, all that sort of jazz. So if you want to talk about player interaction, if you want to talk about animations, if you want to talk about that new EVA system and quick looting and all that sort of jazz, then this is the show for you. Lots and lots of cool stuff that's coming in Alpha 3.23, and how you're going to interact with the Star Citizen universe as it goes forward, as they sort of improve this more and more. That's on the Star Citizen Twitch at 4 PM UTC on Friday. And later on Friday, you'll get a newsletter chucked at your email address if you are signed up for that. Now, there's something else I wanted to talk about. And Cloud Imperium basically put out a message on the EPTU for Alpha 3.22.1 going, we are flying around in an Idris, and come fight us, come get us, and basically we want you to attack, disable, and board this Idris. So loads of players turned up to this, well, as many as that could fit in the server, and I saw Detox and Avenger 1 were streaming it. The request from CIG was attack their Idris, try and wrestle control of it away from them. So either just directly board it or disable it and board it. Unfortunately, first time they did it, got blown up by the players, rather than being disabled or boarded. I don't know if people actually got on board. CIG went, got blown up, but we'll spawn another one. Let's try again. It got blown up again. So people might be thinking, well, this is why we can't have nice things. Players there are blowing stuff up. So I saw a Reddit post about this, actually, with one of the posters saying, the devs specifically requested that the ship was disabled as part of a boarding action. It doesn't matter what players would normally do as gameplay. When the devs request a specific type of thing to do in a test or pre-release environment, players should try and stick to that. Doing anything else just means that the test is a fail, and then that could delay a live release or whatever they are trying to do. A response to that was, perhaps the test wasn't a fail because it showed the margin of disabling versus destroying a vehicle or ship is too thin and needs to be adjusted. Or perhaps the test wasn't a fail because it revealed the level of organisation required to disable instead of destroy an Idris is higher than anticipated and too much for an ad hoc event. Or perhaps the test wasn't a fail because part of testing something like this is to see what end users will actually do and how they engage with a system. I just thought that was a really interesting perspective, because obviously some people are going to be like, oh, that's a shame, and people that are at the event were like, oh, yeah, I really wanted to board and fight. That's a bit of a shame. But this is valuable test data, right? This shows that, well, stuff gets blown up. Maybe it is because there's too thin a line between a ship being soft-deathed and it actually being entirely destroyed. Or maybe there's a variety of other factors at play here. Does not mean that it's a failed test, just means that they've got more data and they need to think about it. Like, if they want to do something like this, maybe they make the Idris effectively invulnerable at some point, so it can't go beyond soft death. Something like that, if they just want specific test data. It's an interesting one because it might be entirely irrelevant. Soft death is basically a placeholder for resource networks and engineering, which will really sort of make it a lot more nuanced and actual have proper disabling of ships, and they won't sort of explode all the time or very often at all. And yeah, you could keep on shooting that Idris and breaking parts off it, but it's not going to be as catastrophic, typically for people on board that are still boarding it. And also another interesting thing, what do you do if you are boarding a ship like this, or you're in like an event, and other people are still shooting it, yeah? How do you stop other people from killing it? Like, do you give them, the people that are still shooting it, criminal ratings or warnings that there's people on board? Is it just that you need to communicate? What if someone else turns up and they're lawful players and they still keep on shooting the ship? Like, there's concerns of exploits there, or people just going, well, I'm not going to get a criminal rating for shooting the ship still, and I'm going to take out a load of people, lol. But if you do get a criminal rating or you get warnings or whatever, then people would use human shields aboard their ships to go, well, we can't shoot us now. We've got a prisoner. But again, maybe resource networks and engineering sorts a huge portion of this out. And I suspect that Cloud Imperium have got a load of plans for the law system and pushing that forward as well. And maybe one of the things that they wanted to do with this test is be able to talk about this and think about some of these scenarios that could occur and what they can actually do to prevent or encourage players to do certain gameplay. I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are on that entire subject in the comments below. Something else I did want to talk about briefly is instanced versus personal hangars and what we're getting for 3.23. Cloud Imperium saying this is new tech that creates an instance for the player's hangar to allow for uninterrupted management of cargo, inventory and vehicles. So you should be able to go to other landing zones, land, do your cargo through the new freight elevator stuff. But what makes a personal hangar? Well, as far as I understand it, and I got some messages from people that said that other devs had said in other people's streams, and they'd sort of confirmed this. I have not confirmed this, so take it with a pinch of salt. Apparently, what will happen is that you will have your home hangar, the one you decide is at your home zone, and that will be customizable to a degree in 3.23. And you'll basically be able to decorate it with flair and that sort of stuff, and you'll come back to it, and it will look the same. I'm assuming that will mean that you'll sort of only be able to decorate it in very specific areas, right? Because obviously I believe it's still going to effectively spawn your ship from an ASOP terminal, and you'll then go to your hangar, and your ship will be there waiting. So I think that's how it's going to work. But it's a step towards sort of customization. I do believe that your persistent hangar will move around effectively as well. So when you spawn a ship with the ASOP terminal, assuming that's exactly how it's going to be done in 3.23, then it will go, your hangar is here, you'll take an elevator to it, but it'll be in a slightly different place every time you spawn it. I believe, I mean, there's probably some stuff they could do to make it feel like, actually, I'm not moving, or there's a central hub that you all sort of always come out of. Obviously, these systems are going to get more evolution, quite a lot more evolution, and eventually we'll be able to have quite a lot more customization of our hangars, I believe. But yeah, I just wanted to pass that piece of potential information on to people and get a bit of discussion going. What do you want and expect from instanced and personal hangars in Alpha 3.23? Tell me that in the comments down below, but also, do you have any questions? Do you have any thoughts? Did you participate in that Idris playtest? Were you disappointed? Do you think that's actually some pretty useful data there? Are you looking forward to Cloud Imperium doing more tests like that in the future that you can get involved with. Are you enjoying the Red Festival and 3.22.1 and all those updates that are all coming soon with Alpha 3.23? Whatever your thoughts or questions, comments below. Thank you. People always ask me, what's your favourite ship? And I always answer, it's NordVPN with its powerful loadout. It wrecks pros and noobs alike. I can cruise around the verse with the added security that online threats aren't as much of a big deal. It also deals with intrusive ads like this one and gives you a greater accessibility to content you may want to watch on other platforms. I can watch Japanese Netflix. Is that even a thing? Maybe. You can find out with NordVPN. It is worth mentioning that CIG and Star Citizen don't actually produce a NordVPN ship yet, but NordVPN is available separately from the links below, and clicking those does help me buy spaceships, so it's basically the same thing, right? Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Get Nord, give ships. I don't know. That's an amazing promo. Every month, we give away a ship for Star Citizen. For February 2024, we're giving away a Drake Corsair Explorer with lifetime insurance and a game package. Everything you need to play and explore Star Citizen in style. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during this month. It is as easy as that. More details in the comments below. A massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel. It is with your support we are able to make daily Star Citizen videos. If you want to be one of those lovely people, then please check out the join button under my videos. That will help you become a channel member. There's Patreon, there's direct donations. All the links for all of that are down below. But there are loads of non-monetary ways you can help support us. Commenting, sharing, liking, all of that sort of stuff goes a huge way in helping the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and you have a great day.